Start with a friend of mine. We go way back to college, actually, 5 years ago, right? I think that's about right. No, not 5 years ago. A little bit longer. Sara Thompson has been spinning yarns for decades, both on page and on stage. Her first attempt at a book was prepared on a Remington typewriter and bore a suspicious resemblance to a famous novel whose title rhymes with Gourd of the Spies. Since then, she's written diaries, advertising copy, and a lot of poetry, besides short fiction and long fiction. Her urban fantasy debut, Otherwhere, Muddy Waters, came out in April from Curiosity Quills Press. I just finished it. It is awesome. I highly recommend it if you like fantasy and cool things like that. Her accolades are so minor, not true, that they bear no mention here, not true, except to say that she once received 5 sessions with a life coach as a prize for winning an essay contest. Awesome.
She needed them after getting fired.
In her spare time, she performs improv comedy, occasionally tells stories on stage, and loves ballroom dancing. Sara lives here in Louisville with her husband, who is an ICU nurse, and her twin sons. Welcome to the stage, Sara Thompson.
I was like, I'll just stand there and let her say all those nice things about me, except I wrote all of them, so that doesn't count, does it? The best way to start out this story is to tell you about what I was wearing and how to picture me. And I was, just picture me slightly younger, wearing very schlumpy khakis. Schlumpy khakis. And a cotton sweater, and my face was huge and fat and round and swollen and red and wet from crying and hyperventilating because I'd just been fired from my dream job. It was 2004, so I was 12. And I had been working towards my master's degree in teaching. I wanted to teach high school English. I wanted to have my Robin Williams moment. And because I didn't have my certification yet, I couldn't teach in a public school, so I had to teach in a private school. And I was offered a job at a private girls' school. I'll let y'all figure out which one it was. And it was great. It was my dream job. It was teaching the highest level English performing students. And also the lowest, because they thought that would balance everything out. It doesn't. And I started this school year thinking, this is going to be amazing. I went charging into my classroom, and I was like, I'm going to make them love me and love books and love literature, and this is going to be great. And I can't wait for my Captain, my captain moment at the end of the year. Yeah. So I kept repeating to myself, the first year is the hardest. And I was making all the rookie mistakes. And all of my observations from other teachers and from the principal, from the department head, were like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have said this or that. But it wasn't like I was doing coke in front of the girls, so that's probably all fine. So flash forward, I also want to tell you I got married in the middle of this year. I had surgery the middle of the year, unplanned. I had an alien baby in my neck. I had to have it taken out. So all this stuff. Flash forward to the spring of that year, and I get a note in my school mailbox, and it says, can you stop by during your planning period? You don't want to get called to the principal's office, ever. Not at 19, not at 9, not at 29, not at 79. And I told the other teachers that I was friends with, I was like, I don't have a good feeling about this. And they were like, no, it's fine. She probably just wants to talk to you about what you're going to teach next year. And I'm like, yeah, that's totally it. So I go into her office, and I have literally not even sat down in a seat. And she says, it's not easy to say this, but we're not going to renew your contract for next year. And I was like, what? I'd never been fired. When I was a kid, I thought being fired meant that something was literally on fire. That I had this image of men and women in skirts and suits with their flames coming out, like in Clue. Flames! flames out of the side of my face. And I didn't know it does not compute. And I said, but why? And she just kept saying, we're just not going to invite you back next year. Like it was a party and I was one guest too many. And I said, what am I supposed to tell my students and my colleagues? And she said, well, just tell them that you decided not to come back. This was a former nun and the principal of a private Catholic girls' school that was essentially, and I said, you're telling me to lie. I said, that would be a lie. And she goes, oh, well, no, don't say that. Don't say that. And so I left, and somehow, by the grace of God, I got out without anybody seeing me, no students, no other teachers. And my remembering of what I was wearing that day was my way of avoiding the fact that this dream that I had had was what was really the problem. I had spent 5, 6, 7 years wanting to be a teacher. I had a throw blanket that said, "Teachers touch lives." And if that doesn't tell you how committed I was, I don't know what does. So I gave that fucker to Goodwill. And within 6 weeks, I had another job as a copywriter. And that's what I'm doing now. And something that really only recently occurred to me was that the "oh, Captain, my Captain" moment, it comes when they're trying to fire Robin Williams' character. So maybe that shouldn't have been a goal for me. But I felt at the moment like it was a big cosmic slap, like this is not what you are meant to be doing, baby girl, go do something else. And I did, and I'm a copywriter, and I wrote a book, and every time we go past that school, my husband and I have this very elaborate ritual where we bring them up, and we go, pew, 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 pew. Thank you.
Sara O'Brien Thompson.